The ancient Egyptian civilization was one of the most advanced and sophisticated civilizations in the world during the Copper and Bronze Age. The Egyptians had a rich tradition of metalworking, and they produced intricate objects of copper and bronze, such as jewelry, tools, and weapons. However, despite their expertise in metalworking, the Egyptians missed out on the Iron Age, which had significant consequences for their civilization and to a great extent resulted in their fall. Bharat, India, was able to ride the Bronze Age and later went on to invent iron-making technology around 1800 BCE. Iron smelting was a game-changer that revolutionized the way people lived and worked, as it enabled the creation of stronger and more durable tools and weapons compared to copper or bronze. Iron smelting required the iron to be heated at a high temperature and mixed with charcoal to reduce it to iron. The process necessitated precise control of temperature and carbon content to generate high-quality iron and steel. Steel, an alloy of iron and carbon, is stronger and more durable than iron, and less than 2% of carbon added to iron creates it. Indian ironworkers had advanced techniques for smelting iron using charcoal, producing high-quality iron and steel that were highly sought after by traders from neighboring regions. Indian ironworkers were highly skilled in smelting iron, which led to the pioneering of iron smelting and steelmaking technology in India. The first recorded evidence of iron smelting dates back to India around 1800 BCE in the Gangetic Belt. If you liked our content so far, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. The subscription is always free. You will be notified when we publish similar interesting items. The Iron Pillar at Mehrauli in Delhi is a testament to the fact that India was a master of steelmaking technology. The Iron Pillar is over 1,500 years old and stands at 23 feet tall. The pillar is made of wrought iron, which is a type of iron that is low in carbon and has high ductility. The Iron Pillar at Mehrauli has stood the test of time and has not rusted or corroded despite being exposed to the elements for over 2,000 years. Steel and weapons made of steel formed the mainstay of exports from ancient India. Steel was used to make swords, armor, and other weapons, which were highly sought after by global traders and neighboring regions. Steelmaking technology gave India a significant advantage in defense, as the Indian soldiers were equipped with superior weapons made of steel. The Persians were one of the neighboring regions that were interested in Indian iron. The Persians were a nomadic people who originated in Central Asia and migrated to the Iranian plateau. They established the Achaemenid Empire, which became one of the largest and most powerful empires in the world. The Persians learned the technique of iron smelting from India and used it to create high-quality weapons and tools. The Persians used this technology to conquer neighboring lands, including Egypt. In 525 BCE, the Persian king Cambyses II invaded Egypt and defeated the Egyptian army in the Battle of Pelusium. The Persian victory was due, in part, to their superior iron weapons and armor, which gave them an edge over the Egyptians. The Persians continued to use their iron technology to dominate the region for centuries until they were eventually conquered by Greek invader Alexander in 330 BCE. The reasons for the Egyptians' failure to adopt iron technology are not entirely clear, but some scholars believe that it was due to a lack of access to iron ore. Egypt's primary sources of copper and tin, which are essential components of bronze, were in the eastern Mediterranean and the Sinai Peninsula. In contrast, the primary sources of iron ore were in more distant regions, such as Anatolia and the Caucasus. This made it challenging and expensive for the Egyptians to acquire iron, which may have discouraged them from adopting iron technology. The ancient Indian economy was an intricate network of trade and commerce that was sustained by various industries, including agriculture, textile, and metallurgy. However, two trades have often been credited with the creation of the glorious economy of ancient India: the spice trade and the steel trade. Here, I will examine both trades and their contributions to the ancient Indian economy. The spice trade has been an integral part of Indian history since ancient times. India was known as the land of spices, and its aromatic spices such as pepper, cinnamon, and cardamom were highly prized commodities in the ancient world. The spice trade was facilitated by India's strategic location, which made it a hub for trade between the East and the West. Arab traders were the primary customers of Indian spices, and they established trade routes that spanned across the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. What is called the spice trade today included steel and textile trade as well, brought wealth to India, which was used to finance various industries and infrastructural projects. For instance, the Chola dynasty, which ruled southern India from the 9th to the 13th century, used its wealth from the spice trade to build magnificent temples, irrigation systems, and roads. Additionally, the spice trade also led to the growth of ports such as Calicut, Cochin, and Kolam, which facilitated the exchange of goods and ideas between India and other parts of the world. However, while the actual spice trade was a contributor to the ancient Indian economy, it was the steel trade that truly propelled India to economic glory. The steel trade was critical to the development of the ancient Indian economy because it supplied various industries with raw materials. Steel was used in the construction of buildings, bridges, and tools. The use of steel in agriculture led to a significant increase in food production, which, in turn, led to the growth of the population. The steel trade also led to the development of new industries such as shipbuilding and weapons manufacturing to defend the land from invaders. Textiles have been an essential part of Indian culture for thousands of years, and India has been a major center of textile production and trade since ancient times. Textiles were not only used for clothing but were also traded as a commodity in the international market. India's textile industry was known for producing high-quality fabric, and its export played a crucial role in the country's economy. One of the major exports from India was indigo, a blue dye that was extracted from plants. Indigo was widely used for dyeing textiles and was highly valued in the international market. India was one of the major producers of indigo and had a thriving trade with countries in Europe, Southeast Asia, and Africa. Indigo was an important commodity in the textile industry, and its production and export contributed significantly to India's economy. India was also known for its fine fabrics, which were made from silk, cotton, and other natural fibers. The production of fine fabric required skilled artisans and advanced weaving techniques. Indian weavers were highly skilled and had developed advanced techniques for weaving fabrics with intricate designs and patterns. The fabric produced in India was of high quality and was highly valued in the international market. During the Industrial Revolution and British occupation of India, the fingers of the artisans, particularly in the Bengal region, were cut off to prevent the weaving technology from being passed on any further. Another significant contribution of India to the textile industry was the invention of buttons. Buttons were first invented in India around 2000 BCE, and they were made of materials like seashells, clay, and ivory. The buttons were used to fasten clothing and were highly valued for their decorative value. The invention of buttons revolutionized the clothing industry and made it possible to create more complex designs and patterns in clothing. The textile industry was a major contributor to India's economy, and it played a significant role in the country's trade with other nations. The textile industry provided employment to millions of people and contributed significantly to the country's GDP. The export of textiles was a crucial source of foreign exchange for India, and it helped to strengthen the country's economic ties with other nations. In around 1st century AD, India was the biggest contributor to global GDP because of these inventions. If we see today, the spices that India produce is not found in any of the regular cuisines in Europe. Do Europeans use garam masala? Do Europeans who came to America and Australia use cumin, coriander and garam masala? The answer is no. Even in the Mediterranean region, which includes Spain, Portugal and others, the spices are limited to black pepper, cloves, basil. Rarely small amounts of turmeric and saffron are used. As we have shown before, steel and textiles was other major exports of ancient India. It changed the course of history. Hence there is every reason to believe that what the West calls the reason why Columbus and Vasco da Gama ventured out, searching for sea routes to India, was not spices, but high-technology products like steel and textiles. But it was steel which India pioneered and continued to rule that space till the Industrial Revolution came along. This pioneering effort in steel technology changed the course of history and resulted in the rise and collapse of civilizations. Hence it will be fitting to call the trade between India and the world as steel trade and not spice trade.